How much did I make on YouTube? Nobody asked, but I'm going to tell you. I'm going to show you my analytics, and we're going to talk all things monetization, because I know that when you are a small YouTuber, you are looking forward to getting monetized. I mean, why wouldn't you? You want to put out your creativity on YouTube, but you also want to make some money, and I completely understand that. Now, in order to get monetized on YouTube, you need to have 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers within a 1-year time frame, and that is for long form content. And you may think, well, isn't it difficult to get 4,000 watch hours? And yes, it can be. For me, for my monetized channel, I actually got the 4,000 watch hours through a single video, and with the subscribers, it took a while to get those subscribers. So it took me almost 1 year to get monetized on that YouTube channel. So YouTube, you may go in thinking, I'm going to get monetized really fast. I see all these other YouTubers getting monetized in 30 days. Here you are monetized. And you may get so disappointed when you are even 1 year in and you aren't monetized. But do you know what? That's completely normal, because YouTube takes time. You are learning new skills. You are learning what works and what does not work on your channel. You are learning who your audience is. There is a lot to figure out and navigate. So be patient with yourself. I'm now going to show you my money, okay, how much I've earned, and you are going to be surprised, really surprised. So let's get into that and show you my earnings. So on this channel, I've made a whopping $45.31. Yay, yay, yay. And I say this because, I am a 42-year-old YouTuber, so I never ever saw online money before. I never earned online money before. So seeing this amount, for me, it's lovely. I know for many people you'd say, but this is such a small amount. But for me, the understanding that you can actually make money online is really, really interesting. And I just love to see it. I think it's fantastic. This was not even possible like 20 years ago. So for me to now see that this is possible, to see it digitally like this, that it is here, that you can make money online, you can make money through YouTube. I think it shifted something in my mind. And I think that, yes, you want to be creative, but you also want to get paid for your creativity, and many people are making full-time income through YouTube. Now, this is far from full-time income, right? I mean, a person can't survive on this amount. But when you're starting off on YouTube, these are the amounts that you can be seeing in your account, right? And then when we go to short feed ads, I made $29.13 through YouTube Shorts, the ads that are placed on YouTube Shorts. And through long form content, the ads that are placed on long form content, I made $16.17. Supers and gifts, I did not make anything there. Now, on this channel, I have been monetized for almost a year, right? And it has been times where, days where it's like $2.69, and other days where it's it's like 0.04 cents, right? So really, really ups and downs in terms of the AdSense money. And that's the thing, with AdSense money, you could make a lot of money in 1 month, but that does not mean that the next month you'll be making a lot of money as well. It goes up and it goes down, and it fluctuates a great deal. And many people, they think, okay, I'm going to monetize my YouTube channel and instantly I'm going to make a salary, like it's going to be able to sustain me. And I'm not saying that it's not possible. It is possible. Many YouTubers are doing that. But it also takes time to get to that level where you can actually sustain yourself through a full-time salary on YouTube. Because you also have to create, videos that have many views to get that high amount of AdSense. The more views you get on a video, and especially if your video is in a niche that is really good, like for example, if you have a finance niche, your CPM, cost per milli, and RPM, revenue per milli, is higher than if you have a cooking channel. So some niches pay more on AdSense with AdSense than other niches. So that's important to know. But also don't go into a niche simply because you think, oh, I'm going to make money through this niche. You also have to enjoy it, because if you are creating hundreds of videos on a certain topic, you want to be able to enjoy that. Otherwise, you will be bored stiff and you will have burnout because you aren't enjoying the process of creating your YouTube videos. So going through some of the months, October last year, I made $27.80, September $6.51, November $3.80, and then like July this year, 78 cents. And the reason is because on this monetized YouTube channel that I haven't been consistent lately, and therefore the numbers with AdSense have dropped significantly. So, if you do want to increase your AdSense, if you do want to increase the money that you're making on your YouTube channel, it helps to be really consistent, because the more videos that you create, the more likely that you are going to get more views, right? And you're putting more content out there. So when you have fewer content, right, and you can see, okay, my views are dropping, often your AdSense will also drop. Okay, so it's interesting because YouTube makes you understand all the different metrics. Playback base CPM means how much advertisers pay every 1,000 times your watch page content is viewed with ads. And the interesting thing is that many people don't know that you do get paid as a monetized YouTuber. There is money with YouTube, but people don't understand it. And I don't blame them, because, if you grew up not seeing that YouTube actually existed, right, and you don't understand that now you can have a social media platform that pays you, it takes a while for it to actually sink in. It really, really does. So after almost a year of being monetized and earning $45.31, what I can say to you is that YouTube is definitely a learning curve, right? When you are learning about how to create content, you're also learning about, okay, how does monetization work? And to be honest, numbers like this, $1.34, etc., it can be really disappointing for many YouTubers. But I see it differently. I see it as interesting. I see it as a learning curve. I see it as, oh, this is possible. You can make money. You can earn money. Let's see how this actually works out. And let's see, what will happen if I continue with this journey of YouTube. And it's also about mindset, YouTube, monetization, all of it. It all comes down to mindset, really. Because if you think that you can get monetized and you put in the necessary work and effort and commitment, you'll probably get monetized as long as you put in the effort, if you start creating that content. So it's really, really interesting. I think that, yes, I know I can be earning far more than $45.31 on this monetized YouTube channel, but I think that it was a good start for me, and it's monetized. So I understood that, okay, this is a process, and these months show me that money differs month from month, and that's okay. To not take it too hard, to not make it feel like, oh, I should have been earning hundreds of dollars. It is what it is, and you live and you learn. And it's interesting, I think a large part of YouTube and YouTube growth comes from, are you actually interested in it? Are you interested in the content that you're creating? Are you interested in learning about YouTube? So as you can see on that YouTube monetized channel that I have, it's AdSense money can really be up and down. But a lot of YouTubers, they actually get videos that are sponsored. So for example, just say you have a course on Skillshare, and Skillshare then says, okay, if you talk about Skillshare in your video, I'm going to pay you this amount of money. So that now becomes a sponsored YouTube video of yours. And a great deal of YouTubers, in order for them to sustain themselves, they have sponsored content in their videos. I haven't had any sponsors yet. I hope to in the future, because to be honest, if you only depend on AdSense money and you want to have a full-time salary, it may be very difficult to only get all your money through one source. So what YouTubers tend to do is they tend to diversify their income. So yes, they have money from AdSense, but they also get money from sponsors. And for sponsors, it works well for them because they know if this YouTuber has 10,000 subscribers, for example, and if they talk about my company or what we offer, then I have more eyes watching my content. But even small YouTubers, even with 1,000 subscribers, can also get sponsors. So don't think that it's only big YouTubers who get sponsors. Now, Patreon, what is Patreon about? I actually researched this because, when I started off on YouTube and I was seeing this word Patreon, what is this all about? What does this mean? So basically, for example, YouTubers also know that their subscribers want to connect with them and have that close relationship with them. And their subscribers also know that if they want that YouTuber to stay on the platform, they are happy to help that YouTuber financially, So they may pay them $5 for them to be part of their Patreon, part of this platform, right? Where you have access to early videos from that YouTuber or behind the scenes from that YouTuber. So it's like a community on a platform who pay the YouTuber maybe $5 or $10 to have this early access to the YouTuber's content or to have behind the scenes content. It can differ. It depends on what the YouTuber wants to actually show via their Patreon. And it's a way for YouTubers to actually have that extra income. And you would think, but okay, why would people want to pay that YouTuber? They are already making money through AdSense. But people understand that YouTubers often can't survive in AdSense money alone. So if they really, really appreciate the content that YouTuber is creating, they don't mind being part of that YouTuber's Patreon. And the factual wording for it is, Patreon is a subscription-based platform that connects content creators with existing fans. So you learn about these terms, right? And it's helpful to know because otherwise you think, okay, there's only YouTube AdSense. That's the be all and end all of the money side of YouTube. And it isn't. There are other avenues. And the more knowledge you get, the better equipped you are to understand what can work for your own YouTube channel. Now, another term is affiliates. I used to have affiliate links in my descriptions and I removed them, and I should actually have it again. Advice to myself. But also, for example, I'm using this mic. I could put a link, right, in my description, and then if you click on it and you purchase the mic via Amazon, I would get a bit of that money, you see. So that's how affiliate links work and affiliates work. So if a person has a really large channel and they have many people who click on the affiliate links, they can even earn thousands of dollars through their affiliate links. But even a small channel, right, if the purchase is expensive and the person who watches their content clicks via their affiliate link, those little amounts can add up as well. So that's what affiliates are all about. And that is another way of diversifying your income through YouTube. Now, I know that, you may be a small YouTuber or you may be somebody who hasn't even started their YouTube channel yet. and you may have questions for me. So I'm going to answer your questions. And by the way, my name is Kish. My YouTube channel is all about YouTube, being a small YouTuber, what I'm learning along the way, the highs and the lows and everything in between. So if that does interest you, do subscribe and also comment below and let me know where are you watching from. It's always lovely to know where you're watching from. Am I too late to start a YouTube channel? Absolutely not. Digital content creation like YouTube, TikTok, all these social media platforms, they are growing every single day. And yes, there are so many YouTube channels out there, but it is not too late to start your YouTube channel. In fact, there is a need to have more content that offers value. And when I talk about value, I mean when you create a video and your content is helping somebody, it's either helping them through providing information or helping them because it's entertaining. People want valuable content, and you don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be a professor. You can be a normal person talking about, for example, how you love cooking and how you started cooking, or you can even talk about how you absolutely love designing and creating websites. There is a place for everybody here on YouTube. Don't feel like it's too late because you see that other YouTubers are established. Your own experience, your life experiences, your stories, that can resonate. You will build your community over time. For me, I took a long time to get onto YouTube because I was so scared to be seen, scared to make mistakes, scared to stumble on my words, scared of other people's judgment, all those fears. And what I will tell you is that it's tough to move past the fear, but when you take baby steps to actually create more content, if you've already started a YouTube channel, or to create your first video, the more often you put yourself out there here on YouTube, you start growing in confidence. It is amazing to see your growth. Not only do you grow a YouTube channel, but you also grow in confidence. So YouTube isn't just about views and subscribers. It's also teaching you life lessons along the way. And I know you may be thinking, oh, Kish, that is such cliched nonsense. But hear me out. We are often so afraid. We are so afraid. We have all these limitations that we impose on ourselves. But when we take ourselves out of our own comfort zone, we are then showing ourselves that we are capable of more than we thought. And when we do that here on YouTube, that then can translate to other aspects of our lives, right? You don't need to be a perfect person to be a YouTuber, because perfect people do not exist, okay? Everybody is imperfect. And it's in those imperfections, when I can just chat here to you from one human to another, that we resonate with each other, okay? If I was so perfect, that may be something that you're not looking for because you want someone you can relate to. And that's the beauty of YouTube. And I know I'm going off tangent with my Q&A, but hey, such is life. The beauty of YouTube is that I'm talking to you right now. I don't know where you are, who you are, what you're going through right now. I don't know that. But as a person who is 42 years old, who has experienced highs and lows of life, who was not always confident, who grew in confidence, I can tell you right now that you may think that you are this type of person and you may want to grow in confidence and you think you aren't capable. I'm here to tell you, you are more than capable, absolutely more than capable, okay? Take a chance on yourself. If you started a YouTube channel and you think you're failing, you know what? Failure is part of growth. Another cliche. Yes, I know. But I've seen it in my own life where you think, okay, you're failing at something, but you don't know the destination yet. So you don't have the clear idea of how that failure is going to lead to your growth. And that's what you will start seeing with your own YouTube channel. You will start seeing very few views, and then you'll start seeing more views. And you'll start seeing, okay, look at how I was in my first video versus my 100th video. I've gotten better. You'll start seeing that for yourself. And that's amazing. You are able to see the progress over time here with YouTube. And that translates to how you think about yourself and how you develop a positive mindset. You may say, okay, Kish, my next question is, what do I even talk about in these YouTube videos? Well, when people come to you, who are you the go-to person for? You know, is it because they love that you bake? Is it because they love that you fix cars? What are you actually really excited about that you can talk about endlessly, where people are like, oh my gosh, you know, Jane or David, they just talk endlessly about this topic and they love it and they're so passionate? Because remember, YouTube is not just for today, tomorrow, but it's also for next year, hopefully, right? If you want to take it seriously. So tap into what you really enjoy and start creating content around that. And remember that just because you chose a topic, it doesn't mean to say that later down the line, you can't then change. YouTube is all about experimenting, okay? You can change as you go along. You are learning. Your learning curve is steep here on YouTube. You are learning how to edit. You are learning how to talk on camera. You are learning how to not be robotic. You are learning how to be more yourself. You are learning how to get over your fears, okay? So really, really understand that when you are starting with those first videos, enjoy the process of it. Don't overthink it. Don't overanalyze. Think that you're talking to one person. Think that you're talking to a friend. And that for me shifted things for me. So right now, I'm not thinking, oh, hundreds of people are going to watch this video. I hope so, you know, fingers crossed, you know. But I'm thinking, I'm chatting to one person. I'm connecting to one person, a friend. And when I talk to my friend, am I going to be like a professor? No, I'm going to be chilled. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be how I normally am, which is a pretty bubbly person. Not every day, because not every day is like, you know, all happy days. You know, let's be realistic. Some days you feel a bit low. But usually I'm pretty upbeat, I'm pretty bubbly. So that's how I'm going to come across, right? Not in every video though, because like I said, I'm human. So show your true self. Show who you are on camera. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Show your best self, use storytelling in your videos, because that's really, really helpful. And even up to today, I still find it a bit weird to include stories, because I think like, okay, is it natural if I just slot in the story? You know, sometimes it can feel like, should I include a story here? Should I not include a story? But stories help you to connect with your audience, okay? Help you to relate to your audience. For me, I grew up in South Africa, okay? And in South Africa, we went through apartheid. Apartheid was a terrible system where if you were a person of color, a brown person, a black person, etc., you were subjected to horrible laws. You know, the government actually created apartheid, where you could only live in certain areas, you could only go to certain schools, all of this, right? And people who went against apartheid, they were put in prison, you know, and you could only go to certain beaches, etc. It was a terrible system of oppression. And the thing is, it's crazy that we grew up in a country which legally was telling you that you are not good enough. It's just crazy to think that, right? And that is why I want people to know you are valuable, you are worthy. Because don't let anybody tell you any different. Don't let the government tell you any different. Don't let your friends or family tell you any different. You are worthy just by being who you are. And who you are is valuable. And if you want to share things about yourself, things about your life to the world, then you should. But I'm not saying go and share every single thing. If you're not comfortable in sharing certain things, don't share certain things. It took me a long time to even talk about apartheid on this YouTube channel of mine, believe me, because for me it's an emotional thing. So you go with what you feel you're comfortable with sharing as well. You may think, Kish, do I need to be tech savvy to make videos? No, you don't need to be like a tech wizard to make videos, because I am not. I always thought I couldn't edit at all, but here I am editing my videos, because you learn through time, over time rather. You don't need to be tech savvy, and you also don't need to learn everything about YouTube in one go. It takes months, it takes years. The learning process with YouTube is an ongoing journey. So don't feel limited by, okay, I'm not tech savvy, therefore I can't start a YouTube channel. I have a video on this platform about how to start a YouTube channel. I have so many videos. Go and look at all the other videos as well. They can really be helpful. So whenever you feel like, I don't know how to do this, research it. There's a YouTube video about anything and everything, and it's there to help and guide you. If you want to edit, use CapCut. It makes editing really, really simple. A common question is, what if nobody watches my videos? Oh boy, when you're starting off and you're putting out that content, okay, you were so nervous, you publish the video, and now you think, okay, people are going to watch, I'm going to get hundreds of views. And there is silence. My word, just silence. Yeah, like that. And the reality is that when you first start off on YouTube, you will hardly get any views. You'll get 1 or 2 or 3, and it can feel really discouraging. You'll think, okay, well, I tried, right? Let's wrap this up now. I'm done because I tried, it didn't work, I failed. Let's move on to the next thing. No, you have not given it enough time. Time. You haven't put in the necessary time to see what can actually happen with your YouTube channel. So when you first put out content, yes, you will hardly get any views. And even if further down the line, after 50 videos, you still aren't getting many views, you need to analyze, look at your videos. How can you improve? What videos did perform well, and maybe create more of that content. So even on this channel, right, that you're watching right now, I know that people tend to love videos about monetization and learning about YouTube monetization. I am not an expert at it, but I know a fair deal about it. So I'm going to share the knowledge that I have. And I'm here to provide information. Like I said, you don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be a professor. And for a long time, I also thought you needed to be an expert. I felt like you need to be not qualified in it, but I felt like you needed to know everything and everything about a certain topic in order to share it. But you don't. Because sometimes people just like to know certain information if you are a few steps ahead of them. Isn't YouTube saturated? We hear YouTube is saturated, that it's too late, that it's totally saturated. No, it is not saturated. You see people rising and becoming great YouTubers every single day. It is not saturated. And don't keep telling yourself this, because what you're actually doing is you're providing excuses to start your YouTube channel. Or you are giving yourself excuses to not continue with your YouTube channel. How much time will it create for me to actually start creating content? Well, dedicate maybe 2 hours with your first video. Make a quick video though, right? Think about what you're going to say. Don't think too hard. Act like it's a conversation, like I mentioned. And take those 2 hours to think about it, to film the content, and then to edit it. And then over time, it'll take less time to create content because you'll become used to it. And when you become used to something, you need less time to create the content, okay? So start with that and maybe publish 1 video a week and see how it goes. And see if you enjoy the process, because there's no point creating content and then you realize, I actually don't enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, then you can quit. You also have permission to quit. You have permission to take breaks in between. You have that permission because it's your channel. You can do what you want with it. You have that control over your life, over your YouTube channel. Do I need expensive equipment? I have expensive equipment right now, but I didn't start with expensive equipment, so you don't. I'm using my phone, and I've always used my phone. I don't have a camera. So start with what you have, and then as your channel grows, or if you have more money for it, then you can buy expensive equipment if that's what you want. But don't break the bank or break your budget unnecessarily. And don't think, oh, but I will create more content or create more YouTube videos when I have the fancy camera. No, you are again using that as an excuse. And also don't think I will only start my channel when I buy the camera. No, again, another excuse. Start with what you have. Is YouTube a get rich scheme? What? What did I just say? Is YouTube a get rich scheme? No, it's not like this quick overnight, oh, you're now a millionaire. And it's not even a scheme. It is a real business for many people. It's up to you to decide. Do you see YouTube as a hobby or do you see it as a business? Because for many people, they don't even care about the money side of things. But for other people, cost of living is high, right? They want to make sure that they have other sources of income besides their work, or they don't want to work for anybody else and they want YouTube to be their full-time career. And so there are ways to make money here on YouTube, but it's not a scheme and it's not a scam. And yes, I'm not saying that some people are not scammers, yes, but on the whole, YouTube is a legitimate way for people to make money. What if I'm camera shy? I think when we're all sitting down creating content, to an extent, we're all camera shy. Because it's a weird thing to do. It's a weird thing to sit down, film yourself, and then be seen by others, right? Let's just get that out of the way. It's a weird thing. So, oh my goodness, it can create deep anxiety for sure. But practice, and then more practice. Practice makes you better. It doesn't make you perfect, and you don't need to be perfect. But if you practice, if you continue to create content, you will find that you will get better and you won't feel as camera shy. And I also created a video about that because, it can be nerve-wracking. It really can. Like, even though I've created so many videos, right, hundreds of videos on this channel and the other channel, I still get nervous every time I sit down because I'm human and we have fears, we have nervousness, we have these thoughts that build up in our head sometimes, But know that people who watch you on YouTube, right? Yes, you get some trolls, but the far majority of people are quite positive, quite encouraging, quite supportive. And they're not watching to hope that you lose. They're watching to hope that you win as well. You create your tribe, you create your community here on YouTube. The other day, I got a mean comment, right? And what did I do? I just deleted it because I don't want that energy. I don't want to see that energy. So you create your space here on YouTube. If you're camera shy, through time, you'll get better. You'll grow in confidence. You won't feel as nervous. Try it and see. Practice and see. See how it gets better. See how you start feeling better. It's a real thing. I'm telling you, it really is. Won't people judge me for having a YouTube channel? People will judge you for anything and everything, and you will also judge others, right? But so what? You started a YouTube channel. Good for you. You stepped out of your comfort zone. Yes, you did. So that's a great thing. And do you know what? People's judgment of you shouldn't stop you from pursuing your own dreams. I'm 42 years old, right? And what I've learned, especially as I get older, is that you only have so much time in this world. One day, I will be dead. One day you will be dead. I know it sounds so morbid, but bear with me. But what I'm trying to say to you is, will you regret not having a YouTube channel, not starting a YouTube channel? Will you regret not knowing what could have been just because you were scared of other people's judgments? Just because you were so scared to put yourself out there? Would you not rather take this risk, take a chance and see what happens? And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, still great because you learn things along the way. correct? So don't worry about other people's judgment of you, you know? Think about how you are investing in yourself by putting yourself out there, by creating a YouTube channel. Think about all the things that you are learning, and you can take that knowledge and transfer it to maybe a career, but even learn about yourself and grow in confidence, and that affects all aspects of your life. Most people will actually admire your courage, to be honest, because many people want to start YouTube channels but don't, because they're scared of judgment of others, because they let fear take precedence over everything else. And you really shouldn't. You really shouldn't. And I say this again because it took me years to get started on YouTube, because I was so scared to be seen. How do I know what YouTube videos will work well? Well, start putting out that content, right? See what resonates with your audience. You'll see which videos get many views. Double down on the videos that do well. Also look at other YouTube channels in your niche. For example, if you have a fitness niche, look at other fitness niches. What videos are performing really, really well? Look at what we call outlier videos. So for example, if a YouTube channel has 1,000 subscribers, but that one video on their channel has 50,000 views, you can create your version of that video, right? And then see how it does well for you. You know, if it worked well for them, and if you incorporate similar things that they did in that video, it could work well for you. So look at outlier videos. So an outlier video is where you look at another channel, which is in your niche, or maybe even not in your niche, but I'd say look at a channel in your niche, look what videos performed well for them, incredibly well relative to the number of views that they have, subscribers that they have, and create your version of that video, okay? How do you build community here on YouTube? It's an interesting thing because, you know, people will comment here on YouTube and you'll respond back to them, and you'll start to know the people who comment often on your YouTube channel. And again, it's not an overnight thing. It takes a while to build community here on YouTube. You can also build community through doing live streams, and that's something that I need to do more of. I need to do live streams so that I can build community. But again, I also need to get over that fear of live streams, and I need to really just get on with it, because again, we use fear and that becomes a stumbling block to our own success. What's the biggest mistake that beginner YouTubers make? I think it's overthinking, overanalyzing, and expecting to know everything about YouTube just when you're getting started. I mean, think about something that you started in your life. You didn't know everything about it, but you got better over time because you learned along the way. And it's the same with YouTube. But somehow with YouTube, we let fear get in the way of creating content. And we may even start our YouTube channel, and then because we don't get the views, we don't want to create more content. We start to feel like failures, even though we shouldn't feel like that at all. But we start to really let the lack of numbers rather, the low numbers, make us feel like we have failed. And as I get older, I understand that failure, the way we perceive failure, in such a negative light, but failure really does lead to growth. Failure is part of your successes. Because if you don't know what did not work, then how will you know what does work? You know, it goes hand in hand. And YouTube, I think, for me, that it has helped me understand that sometimes you just have to get on with it. You just have to not overthink and do the thing. Put yourself out there, create the content, see what happens. Don't fixate on the video if it did not perform that well. Learn what you could improve, but also move on to the next video, you know? And that's so much like a life lesson that sometimes when things don't go right, we fixate on the thing that didn't go right instead of working on the next step, on moving forward. And time, we all don't have endless amounts of time here on this earth. We don't. Time is limited. And I think when I was younger, I didn't think about time in that way. I obviously knew that time was limited, but I didn't think about it that much, that deeply. But as I'm 42 years old, I think of time so differently. What am I going to invest my time in? What do I really enjoy? What do I want to put out into the world? And I'm not just saying, oh, I created this particular YouTube channel just because I want to help people. Yes, I do. But I also want to make money with it. And I'm going to be honest about that. Okay? I also want to make money with this. And YouTube is fascinating. As somebody who did not grow up with YouTube, the ability to connect with people from all over the world, right? For your message to be relayed so easily. You don't need mass media. You don't need the TV, even though YouTube is now being watched on TV, which is wonderful, right? You don't need to have paid ads. You can communicate so easily with other people. I think that I do not take that for granted, and nor should you. If you really want to start your YouTube channel, you should. And if you've started a YouTube channel and you have just become so demotivated because you don't see the views and you don't have enough subscribers, etc., please understand that if this is something that you still really, really want, put in the time, give it more time. If it's something that you really, really want. But if you feel like there's no joy in it, then also quit. If you don't want to do it, don't continue. You have choice. With life, you have choices. Enjoy this journey of YouTube. Enjoy this journey of life. And if you feel like, you're so scared to put yourself out there, you don't like the way that you look, I created a video about that. Go and watch that next. And have a beautiful week. And remember, you are worthy just the way you are. Absolutely cliched, but true. Take care.